Kinshasa, Africa, good evening. I'm Tazz Russell, and you are watching United to Promote Africa Positively here on OTM Television. Last week, we made history. We told you the why. We admitted that our image has been attacked. But we refuse to be the victim. We go further tonight. We asked the question to every young African who is shouting that, okay, we know the problem, but what do we do about it? And who better to return to our desk than the men who helped us to launch this revolution? Please let's welcome back for a very special second conversation the Honorable Dr. Mr. Obed Tshilomboji Muyumbe. Welcome, Doctor.
Mr. Charles, I swear to you that the people have spoken. Yeah, of course. They don't want one conversation. They definitely want an entire movement.
Exactly.
And I am proud to be here for episode 2 of United to Promote Africa Positively.
Oh, we're proud to. Doctor, I don't know if you remember that last week you said that the biggest lie about Africa is that we are a country of perpetual war. Tonight, let's get practical. In the 7 days since our first show had, what is one reaction you received from a citizen, a colleague, or even a critique that proves that this show is really working?
That's a very interesting question. I just didn't receive a call or a critic. I received tons of them. But one that was very interesting to me was a lady, I can't remember her name, Safina, something like that, Safi. I even registered her in my phone number. She called me from Kisangani, and she said that she has watched the first episode of our United to Promote Africa Positively show, and then she was saving money because she wanted to travel to Libya, and then from Libya go through the Mediterranean Sea all the way to Europe. Ooh. And I asked her, how much money have you been saving thus far? She said about $6,000 US dollars. Wow, that's a lot of money. So do you really want to go and squander that money in Libya? Besides, you could end up being a slave there and end your life. Why don't you come up with a project such that you set up a small mushroom farm startup? And she said, that's a brilliant idea, but I can set it up. I just don't know where to sell the product to. Say, that's not your business. Just do the work, do the farming, and I'll find the people that can purchase the mushroom from you. So you see, this is already the practical result that we're receiving from the show.
Wow, a mushroom farm in Kisangani instead of growing in the Mediterranean. Mm-hmm. Wow, this is powerful. That shows that our show is working, right?
Oh, definitely. People are watching it.
So people are watching from Kisangani.
Exactly.
Our show is going viral, I think.
It's going all over the world.
Yeah. Now, Doctor, tell us, you hold a position of power, of course. What is the very first policy or law you will propose or amend this month as a direct result of this conversation on OTM television?
I'll go straight for, I've been thinking about it though, but for talking about a specific law, I'm not far from that. I think domestic investment first. This is what we need. We don't need to scatter our investments all over the world. We need to invest locally. For example, in tourism. Today, foreign investors get all the tax breaks. And I would propose that any Congolese citizen who builds at least a registered guest house, a hotel, or something alike, besides or in the vicinity of a, touristic park, such like a school, a cultural center, or something like that, by the national park, will receive a 3-year tax holiday. I mean, he's not going to pay any tax for the next 3 years. If somebody, say Mr. X, comes up with an idea, builds up a guest house by the Kundelungu Park, And I will plead that the government gives him a 3-year tax-free tax holiday. This is going to be great. Can you imagine if we must make it cheaper to invest in Kinshasa than in Dubai? How much investment we're going to have in Kinshasa? Because I do believe I also have some investment in Dubai, but it does not benefit the Congolese. Yeah. So I need to bring back my investments here in country so we can start domestically building up our own pattern of investment and then pressure forward and become the leitmotiv for further investment of other Congolese, for example, those are in the diaspora.
Such a concrete policy. Yeah. But Doctor, please, tell us a little bit. If you had $1 million from the government or an ordinary organization to spend this quarter on only one of those sectors, tourism or tech, which would you choose and why?
Between tourism and tech. Both are very important, but I think I'll go for technology. Tech hub. We don't have that here. Yeah. I mean, zooming around the whole country, there's no renowned think tank. Therefore, no tech hub. For a country of 100 and almost 40 million inhabitants, I believe now is the time to be more focused on setting up tech hubs, tech startup.
So digital roads comes first according to you, right?
Yeah, digital world is a must, because actually we believe that if we have an opportunity to have a young man from Matadi, Goma, Lubumbashi, we put 1,000 of those young men and then we teach them the tricks of the trade, the country will benefit massively and tremendously.
Now, for the young person watching who says, I don't know how to code and I have no capital, what's your take on it?
Learn. Learn through YouTube, learn through any other social media out there, and stop saying I don't know. I hate that. Anybody who is endowed with a brain must learn to know. Say I will learn. Of course I don't have the money right now, but capital is not your first problem. You don't need money to learn. Courage is the problem. People don't have the courage anymore to learn anything. There's a 17-year-old boy in Lagos in Nigeria, for example, who built a logistic application with a $50 cell phone. $50 cell phone, but he built an entire logistic application. What is your excuse in Kinshasa? Because you can find any phones, you can get a phone as you please. OTM television is also here, is giving you the minor you can. And now look at yourself and decide. So today people tend to neglect and say, I don't have the capital, I don't have the money, I don't have a cell phone, I don't even know where to start from. That's just a lie. It takes courage, determination, zeal, ambition to get something going. Progress is a slow process, but you need to get into that process to hit the bullseye.
Wow, that was not a speech. That was a challenge, and accept it, and I hope the audience does too. Now that we know leadership can talk, and what measurable metric can our viewers watch on this show 6 months from now to hold you personally accountable for the promises you are making?
Oh, I am responsible for the promises that I am making, but I know that responsibility comes with accountability as well. I am on a show, and I know millions of people are watching us today. So in 6 months from today, on this show, I will return with a signed MOU, a memorandum of understanding between my office as well as maybe 2 private tech companies to establish the first coding for Congo. We need that. We need to train these boys. We need to train these youngsters on how to code. That is going to be a
free training, or
we definitely going to see some sponsors who can help the first generation of those young boys, of those youngsters, to learn how to code. Then we're gonna, kind of like set up a system whereby the government and some private would sponsor any young man, because we're building actually the model of our own development. We don't have to copy what other people have done if it is not right, if it doesn't work with us. Adaptability is actually the key factor to our success. So what we're going to do, set up that tech hub, because myself, I am a doctor in AI, business administration, and artificial intelligence. So I am well placed to start helping as many young people in the DRC as possible to come out of the water.
I will hold that day, Doctor. I will hold that
It's
day.
coming.
Yeah, we hope. And I think, so, I don't know if you can name one other country in Africa that is doing tourism or narrative change right, that the Democratic Republic of the Congo should copy immediately. Just one Africa country.
I know a country that is actually combining the narratives and a change of paradigm, which is our neighboring country, Rwanda. They're doing it already. So why don't we see what is better and then copy from them, their discipline, their way of doing things?
So they are first country, for number one
in Africa. Yeah, the way which is proven.
in terms of tech.
In terms of technology, in terms of discipline in the way of doing things. Yeah, of course we had loggerheads with the country. There's political conflicts, whatever. But when it comes to discipline in technology, yeah, I think we need to copy what is positive in them. So we are 142 somewhere there, million inhabitants in the DRC. We need to have data centers all over, maybe 10 provinces with huge data centers. We need to have a huge platform whereby we train our youngsters. We have over 80 million young people that we are losing in letting them go into the Mediterranean Sea to go die. But why don't we have to set up systems to capture that capital?
Who is going to set the system, the government or a private organization?
It depends. The government should back up the privates to do so. If any private is investing in human capital, the government should have big eyes to see and support the initiative, because it's going to benefit both the government and also the private, meaning the whole country is going to definitely get profit out of that. Investing in people is key to success. If we don't invest in people, we're going to have the monsters tomorrow that will kill us. We don't want those monsters to kill us. We want them to master the tricks of the trade so they can be important to the society. This is what we want. And it's not bad to imitate countries that have done that.
Wow. Dr. Honorable Obed Tshilomboji Muyumbe, you did not come back to be comfortable, but you come back to be uncomfortable. Thank you for your challenge, and thank you for receiving us again tonight.
I really appreciate, Mr. Charles, your courage, your devotion, your determination with this show to help as many Congolese people, citizens as possible, to refrain from illegal immigration. Let's invest in our country. And there's great hope that in the next 3 years or so, we're going to actually harvest the great results of our hard work. Our labor is not in vain.
Amazing. Thank you, Doctor. See you.
Thank you for coming to see me again. All the best.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have now watched 30 minutes of this show across 2 weeks. The novelty is over. The work begins. As we usually say to the youth, stop waiting for a savior. Be the mushroom farmer, be the coder, be the tarot guide. To the leaders, Honorable Dr. Mr. Obed Tshilomboji Muyumbe gave you a template. Signed document, fund hubs, open parks. To the entire world, we are not asking for a pity. We are asking for your partnership. Come visit the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I'm Tazz Russell. This has been United to Promote Africa Positively, episode 2. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and invite all of your friends, your family, relatives, whoever, and leave us a comment. See you